Welcome to the Wellness Abundance Podcast. I'm Melissa King, your podcast host, board certified health and wellness coach, certified personal trainer, and founder of Wellness Abundance Coaching. I created this podcast to help women like you learn more about your body so you can age gracefully and navigate the different seasons of your life effortlessly. If you're a woman searching for answers to unexpected weight gain, intense PMS, chronic fatigue, fertility challenges, PCOS, brain fog, and more, this podcast is for you. We'll do a deep dive into all areas of women's health and connect with experts so you can get clarity on what's happening within your body. This will empower you to take control of your mindset on the natural aging process and create flexible lifestyle habits that work for you at any age. Now, grab your favorite glass of wine, cup of coffee, or mocktail, and enjoy the episode. Welcome back to another Wellness Abundance podcast episode. I'm your host, Melissa King, board certified health and wellness coach, certified personal trainer, and Girls Gone Strong women's health certified. Okay, today we're going to talk about one thing that comes up a lot for several women, myself included, is PMS and period cravings. Okay, this is something that I feel like, we all just kind of accept as women. But again, my mission is to help women really not settle for the status quo or what we have been told all our lives. Okay, we need to change that. We need to change the story we tell ourselves. So if you feel like PMS and period cravings take over your life once a month, this episode is definitely for you. So keep listening, keep watching, and we'll dive into this. So like I said earlier, I could totally relate. This is totally me. When I'm PMSing, you give me chocolate, sweet potatoes, and rice, not necessarily all mixed up together, and I'm a happy girl, okay? So you could also be maybe craving salt and fat, so potato chips feed your cravings, pun intended. So whatever food cravings come up for you, this road can be a little bit tricky to navigate, as you probably have already experienced. On one hand, I'm all about indulging in tasty treats every now and then because you deserve to enjoy your life, okay? And it can't be all about strict dieting. That's actually, I feel like, what got us here in the first place is super strict dieting. So on the other hand, some foods you're craving and eating could be contributing to more intense cramping, bloating, and fatigue. So we'll dive into all this today. So the tricky part about this road is to finding a balance that actually works for you to satisfy your cravings while eating nutritious food that actually minimizes your symptoms during this time in your cycle. So this is where I could help. So today I'll share how you can navigate your PMS and period cravings with fewer bumps in the road with my simple 4-step process. So, okay, ready? All right, here we go. All right, so step 1 is to evaluate your current eating habits. Okay, so take a peek as to what you eat over a 7-day period. If you currently eat mostly whole foods, such as like chicken, beef, bison, fish, eggs, fruits, and veggies, the next step will be a lot easier for you than for most people. So if this is you, keep listening, but you could just move on to step 2. Okay, if you're eating mostly like pasta, bread, cereal, crackers, and a lot of other processed food, fast food included, I recommend starting to shift into eating more whole foods. Now, I totally understand this can be a big undertaking because it's not easy to do. And it's something that might feel just a little overwhelming to you at this time, but trust me, it will be well worth it in the long run. So I used to have really intense periods back in high school and throughout my 20s, and I am kind of having some challenges right now in my mid 40s, but that's for another episode. But I would be in so much pain that I just wanted to come home and curl up in bed. So I was cranky and exhausted like every month during this time. It was not a fun way to live for myself or really for anyone around me. So looking back, I now know that it had to do with the fast food I ate every day at lunch. In high school, we had open campus at McQueen High School, so my girlfriends and I would hop in one of their cars and go to Taco Bell, mostly Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, McDonald's. And then when I got home, I'd eat on some days a box of mac and cheese when I got home from school, okay? And I would eat anything and everything I could during this time of the month, which was not always healthy. And I didn't mention that I would eat the entire box of mac and cheese by myself. And then I would go on to eat the dinner that my mom would make. Yes, I did not shy away from eating. I don't as well these days. I was really active in high school and I feel like my body needed the calories. But the quality of food I ate, it wasn't so good. So this was probably for the reason for my intense menstrual cramps and acne-prone skin. So once I started to eat more whole foods and eliminate a lot of the processed foods, not only did my cramps not feel as intense, but I didn't have very many intense food cravings like I did back then. So here's the thing about your body. If you give it whole nutrient dense food, it will want more of the same food and your processed food cravings will naturally diminish. They may not go away entirely, but they will feel like they're at least under control, which is what you want. So if you need any guidance on how to start and where to start for making the shift to whole foods, go ahead, book a free call with me. Go to my website, melissaking.net. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see book a call. Go there, book a call, and we'll strategize together. All right, step 2, prioritize healthy fats and protein. Okay, so during the last week of your cycle, when you feel PMS coming on, your progesterone levels are at their lowest, okay? There's more going on at this time in your cycle, but we're just gonna focus on progesterone. So your progesterone is the lowest. So this is why you may feel more tired than usual, unable to focus, crave carbs like bread, rice, pasta, all the baked goods, moody, and really just like your batteries need to be recharged. So when you give into your carb cravings during this time, this really kind of throws your hormones out of whack, okay? So eating high carb foods such as bread, rice, or potatoes, it makes your body crank up the dial with insulin production to move out any excess blood sugar that's building up. So if you have too much insulin going through your bloodstream at once, then your hunger hormone increases, which obviously makes you want to eat more, right? And you may notice you kind of just grab salty or sweet treats rather than whole foods when your hunger levels go up. So one great way to mitigate any carb cravings is to focus on eating meals full of nutrient dense proteins, okay? Meat, eggs, fish, meat like beef, bison, chicken, whatever you enjoy eating. Healthy fats, avocados are great. And veggies, broccoli, mixed greens, the non-starchy, like green veggies. So this will help your body dial down the insulin production, or at least keep it at a level to where your hunger and satiety hormones are in check. Plus, when you start your period, eating enough protein, complete protein, will help you get like chicken, beef, bison, fish, and eggs will help you replenish your iron faster. So these meats are full of heme protein, which is iron, which is the kind of iron that you want to get as much of as possible. So, all right, step number 3, my favorite, get good sleep. Okay. I love sleep. I've talked about it several times, but sleep is my jam for sure. So, just think about this. Have you ever woken up and felt like you could just take on the world like the female superhero that you are? Being well rested when you wake up might not be a common feeling for you, but it can be. So more importantly, when you deserve to wake up feeling well rested, and so you can have more mental clarity to make decisions that align with your healthy habit intentions, like choosing a sweet potato during this time rather than a cupcake. Okay, so now I can already hear the moms pushing back about how their kids wake them up in the middle of the night and feeling like great sleep is impossible. If this is you, I hear you. Okay, taking care of kids isn't the most easy task all the time, and it is a 24/7 job. I get it. Okay, I've been around kids long enough. I've taken care of my nephews when they were little, and they were very dependent on adults, enough to know that it literally is a 24/7 job. So I can relate also to the sleepless nights, because while I'm not a mom, I have experienced multiple nights in a row of not getting great sleep due to anxiety and worry. That's something that used to keep me up at night a lot, okay? Middle of the night period issues, heavy flows, having to get up and take care of that in the middle of the night. Cat scratching on the bedroom door at 3 a.m. Thankfully, we're not dealing with this any longer, but it has happened. Hormonal disruptions. When your progesterone is low, you could experience insomnia during this time. And I'm sure there's so many other things that I just can't think of off the top of my head, but there is a long list. I have had multiple nights in a row of not sleeping, so I get it. So the key here is to do your best to prioritize your sleep, with your current lifestyle, whatever season you are in your life. If you have little kids, maybe you have a newborn, and you're adjusting to your new roommate, and they're not quite on the same sleep schedule you are. If you have older ones who, still depend on you, they wake up in the middle of the night, or you have teenagers and you wake up worrying about what they're doing and everything. So, it doesn't matter. Just, you don't need to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night. While that is ideal, that is like the perfect situation, I actually would not recommend setting this as a goal, because to be honest, it's not realistic for most people, including parents. If you're a mom, you have to learn how to just go with it and do the best you can with your current lifestyle. So, and like I said, this happens with people like myself who are child-free too. So as with any lifestyle, this looks different for everyone. So it could mean getting to bed at 10 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. or sleeping in an extra hour one day of the week. Okay, this is something that we do in our home. Sunday morning is our sleep-in time. Normally we don't sleep past 7, but Sunday is our sleep-in time. So even having that one day where we don't get up at 5 a.m. is huge. It just makes such a big difference. So it could also look like turning off your screens, 2 hours before you want to crawl into bed. Rather than laying in bed and just scrolling through social media, the news, whatever it is on your phone until you actually fall asleep. So it's more about the quality of sleep rather than the quantity, rather than the number of hours of sleep. So when you have to drag yourself out of bed in the morning and you feel sluggish all day, you're way more likely to reach for processed foods, i.e. the cupcake, the cookie, the bag of chips, anything, rather than whole foods when your hunger kicks in. So this is not because you don't have willpower. I just want to say this, okay? Make this very clear, okay? This is not because you do not have willpower, okay? It's because your body is naturally craving these processed foods from not getting enough sleep, okay? So it's actually a biological response from not getting enough sleep, okay? So this is actually the time of month where you may want to consider resting more than usual. So if you exercise in the morning and didn't get good sleep the night before, make the conscious choice to stay in bed longer rather than work out. Okay, this is something that I do if needed. Say no to a social commitment on the weekend to stay home and take a nap or watch a movie on a Saturday afternoon. Okay, I know it sounds crazy and unproductive, but when you rearrange your schedule to, schedule in to squeeze in more rest than normal, your world will change. Your mental health will change. You'll be so much happier, less moody, and you'll just feel better overall. And just remember, you deserve it. Okay, so step number 4 is to minimize stress during this time. This is a tricky one. So because we all have stressors in our life that, we simply just don't have control over. So the intention here is to focus on the ones you can control and work around the ones you can't. I know, again, easier said than done, but there is a way to do it. So let's first take a look at some stressors that you may be able to control in your life. So limiting your access to processed foods you crave so you can't just reach for them. So basically don't buy them and avoid them at all costs at the office. If you work in an office environment, avoid them at all costs. And sometimes having these foods easily accessible can cause underlying stress, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I know I don't want to eat this, but I shouldn't be eating this, but I'm going to eat it anyways. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, do I satisfy my emotions or, the nutrients my body is requesting, and sometimes you may not even know that this underlying stress is lurking in the background, okay? So just avoiding it altogether. Skipping a workout and choosing a nutrient-dense meal with meat or eggs or veggies, an intense workout can be stressful on your body and can increase your cortisol levels, which will cause even more stress on your body. So taking it easy, maybe doing yoga or just going for a walk is much less stressful on your body. Say no to a social event to open up your schedule to rest and chill out, okay? Being on the go all the time is actually an unnecessary stressor on the body and the mind that can cause all sorts of hormonal disruptions, which can increase your cravings, okay? So those are just a few that I thought of off the top of my head while putting this together. So now it's your turn to make a list of all the stressors in your life that you can eliminate temporarily so you can navigate PMS in your period with ease and grace. So brainstorm ideas on how to implement more rest during these days of the month. All right, now we're going to wrap up this episode with something incredibly powerful, an incredibly powerful message that I want to send to you. And that is part of my mission with Wellness Abundance Coaching. Empower yourself. Empower yourself. As women, we're programmed to take on a lot of responsibilities in everyday life. It's what society has taught us. So it's important to remember that you can ease up on your responsibilities when you feel it's needed. You can get help with childcare or caring for elderly parents for a few days or even a week, okay? You may need to get creative, but it can be done. One of my favorite quotes from my mentor, Marie Forleo, reminds me of this every day. Everything is figure-outable. When you empower yourself to honor your body during this time of the month, you're able to be a better friend, colleague, partner, mom, and daughter in the long run. You may even inspire other women in your life to do the same. So, all right. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you're listening to this, please press like if you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, please write a review. This will really help move us up in the queue, in the algorithm on these platforms so you can help me spread the message. And also, if you haven't done so already, go to melissaking.net. On the homepage, go get your fitness guide to weight loss and join our community, and you'll get a free newsletter every Friday with new podcast updates, new articles, and special offers. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye. The Wellness Abundance Podcast is sponsored by Wellness Abundance Coaching. At Wellness Abundance Coaching, we help women create flexible nutrition and fitness plans that fit into their life to help them lose weight effortlessly and navigate the different hormonal seasons of their life with clarity, empowerment, and flexibility. We offer one-on-one and group health and fitness coaching. To learn more about how we can help you navigate the different seasons of your life and become the healthiest version of yourself, schedule a time to chat with us by visiting melissaking.net.